All right, could you please introduce yourselves?
Hello, I'm Giovanni Lopez. I'm going to be the Marks Tower RC for the year 2011-2012.
Hi, I'm Caroline, and I'm going to be the Party Tower RC for 2011 and 2012.
All right, so we've been talking about referrals. What are some examples of reasons RAs might contact you?
Well, RAs tend to contact me or the RCs if they have questions about job responsibilities, and specifically related to counseling. It would be just how to deal with sensitive situations. If regardless of whether or not you're a new or a returning RA, there's a lot of new situations that might arise, and in those cases, if you have questions, you would come to your RC.
What sort of questions do you ask the RA once they contact you?
Once an RA usually contacts me or any other RC, we usually ask to see how the student is doing, how they're mentally, how they're physically, if they need any assistance, and we try to work with the RA to refer them to the appropriate, to get them appropriate resources, as well as refer them to the centers.
So what direction do you give the RA after they've contacted you?
We typically, if it's possible and it's not a very serious crisis situation, we'll ask the RA to follow up with the resident. So that could involve just going up to their door, knocking and seeing if they're home, asking how they're doing. And if there's any information that we can share with you, we will give it to you and you can follow up accordingly. Or sometimes we'll also ask to write an information report, which is just to let us know exactly what happened in writing. But that's just for us to document that situation.
And what do you report to your AD?
Usually what we encourage RAs to do is to come directly to the RC, and we usually work with them, try to find out what the issue is, and what we do as RCs, we then move forward to communicate with the AD and figure out what the issues might be. But we usually, like I said, typically encourage RAs to come to us and we go to the ADs.
What are some common questions RAs have for you about referrals?
So there are a lot of questions typically with new RAs if you're new to counseling situations where you would need to apply your counseling skills. There's a lot of questions of whether or not you know what the right referrals are, or if you know of whether or not we have the types of resources to respond to a certain situation. And in those cases, I would assure you that you have the training. You would recall all of your classes from EDCO. And a lot of times, even though you might feel nervous going into a situation, when you do get there, just be confident that you do have that training. And if you ever have a question, you can always come back to your RC and ask them if that was the right thing to do. And if we need to make adjustments, there's nothing wrong with going back and readdressing that situation, or asking your RC to help you and support you in addressing that situation.
Is there anything you think an RA shouldn't talk to you about?
The RAs could actually talk to us about really anything. There is one issue that RAs are a little bit skeptical of talking to the RCs about, and that is sexual assaults, because there is a privacy with that. But however, the RAs are able to talk to us, and we are not able to talk to the ADs, being that they are professional staff members, and we're still at the level of the students where we're able to communicate with them. We are not allowed to communicate any information that includes such as a name or student ID of the student that was sexually assaulted, but they are allowed to talk to us about that. But there is that little thing that RAs are not usually don't talk to us about is sexual assaults.
And so you spoke a little bit about nerves before. When it comes to referrals, are RAs ever nervous when they contact you about something like this? And what do you tell them if they are?
Definitely there are a lot of nerves because of the severity of the situation. And I would say to any RA that you need not be nervous when you talk to your RC, because the RC is there to advocate for you and to support you in responding to incidents that might be difficult to deal with. And of course, if something is a very serious situation and it's affecting you, the purpose of your RC is to help you sort of navigate how to deal with it without causing a lot of harm to you, and we would really push that you take care of yourself and know what your boundaries and limits are. So even in severe cases that involve sexual assault or any other crisis situation, we would really encourage the RAs, regardless of whether or not you're nervous or you feel like you're handling it properly, to come to your RC, because that's what we're here for. We're here to support you and answer your questions, and there's really nothing that you cannot tell us, because that's basically our role. You tell us everything, we figure out how to then report it back to our supervisors if it needs to be reported, and we're here for you.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good luck.